What is up, guys? Welcome back. Zan's Corner, the first edition of Zan's Corner in Madden 18. Welcome back. Hopefully you guys had a great summer. I know I did. We got to run the B-Dubs Bowl during the summer, got to see some of the best Madden that we've seen played all year. The finale was fantastic, and we're back for another season of Madden NFL football. If you guys don't remember me from last year, my name is Zan. I did the Zan's Corner last year, starting around Christmas time, and it was a very big success. So this year, gonna bring it back to you guys starting in week 1, technically before the game is ever released. The game coming out today for those of you who didn't have the GOAT edition pre-ordered. So gonna give you some tips on the defensive side of the ball. We're sitting here in practice mode, and it's worth mentioning that practice mode kind of received an overhaul this year. So we see practice mode return. However, you don't need 2 controllers anymore. So on offense, obviously you determine when you're snapping the ball, but on defense you now can determine when they snap the ball as well. So basically in practice mode, if you're not moving a player around or you don't have a menu pulled up, they won't snap the ball. So let's go ahead and show you an example. We'll go ahead and call a random play here on defense or on offense because it doesn't matter. So if I'm moving around, just clicking around my defense, the offense will not snap the ball. They will wait until you have been set for 2 seconds before they snap the ball. So as you can see right here, if I'm moving players around, they're still not going to snap the ball. Once I've stopped and sat for 2 seconds, then they will snap the ball. So you can see that that's actually pretty nice because now they're going to be allowing you to lab up your defense. So let's go ahead and talk about defense here in this game. So what we're going to do is just going to base align. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to show you that if you pull up the right menu, so any type of menu, matchup stick, coverage adjustments, you could just leave it on the screen and the computer won't snap the ball. So it's going to be allowing me to show you the individual coverage adjustments that you can use for every position on defense. Now, these are specific, so you guys are going to probably need to get out a pen and paper, maybe write this down so you can remind yourself. We're going to break through these pretty quickly, so let's go ahead and look at this. So let's start with our safeties. Safeties, they are going to have different assignments based off of where you are on the field. So if we're in a too high look, I can pull up the coverage assignments for my safeties, and you can see that I could put this safety in a deep half. I could put him in an inside third to put him in the middle of the field. I could put him in a curl flat to put him in a purple zone. I could put him into a hook curl, which would have him play underneath, or I could put him in any of the assignments from last year, such as QB spy, blitz, or man coverage. Now, man coverage, it's interesting to note with safeties, you can man up anybody on the field as a safety. So I can man up the B receiver if I want and get that old school cross man effect. So the safeties are the 2 positions on the field, 2 of the 3 positions on the field, the free safety, strong safety, and then we'll show you another one here shortly that can cross man. So the computer's going to snap the ball here. We'll go ahead and break down the strong safety adjustments now. Strong safety from a too high look is going to have very much the same things. Deep half, inside third, curl flat, hook curl, and then he can also play, if you flick the right stick to the right, he can play an inside quarter. Now, an inside quarter is like what you see in a cover 4 where they're responsible for 1/4 of the field to the inside. Now, this safety as well is responsible for an inside quarter. You can put that free safety in an inside quarter as well. Now, let's go ahead and reset this. That is from a too high alignment. Now, let's watch what happens if we press. So we press, we're still in too high. We pull up the assignments, they stay the same. Now, let's go ahead and show blitz. Now we show blitz, walk these safeties down, and the computer decided to snap the ball on us. But we'll go ahead and do that again here, just to show you. When we show blitz, the safeties get new assignments. So we're going to base align and show blitz, walk these safeties down into the box. Now the free safety, he can play middle third, outside third, deep half left, deep half right. So you can see right here that I could put him into a deep half and he's going to go all the way across the field to the other side of the field. This would be a pretty interesting way to roll coverage. So you can kind of create your own coverage rolls by manipulating whether or not you're showing blitz or base aligned and all those types of different coverage, exotic coverages. You could put him into an outside third, which would drop him outside, try to take away the outside sideline. That'll help you more than a deep half, for instance. So in this example, he's not going to get all the way to the sideline, but in an outside deep third, he would. You can put him into a mid-read zone. Now, a mid-read zone is going to drop over the middle of the field, and what it's going to do is drop to the side with the most receivers. So you can see that we got 2 receivers and a running back to the left. We've got 2 receivers to the right of the quarterback. So he's going to play the middle of the field and play down the seam with the most deep threat on the left side of the field in his mid read. So that's what a mid read does. That's what you're going to see in a cover 2 zone. So that's something you can do. You can put him into an outside third to the right. He would roll all the way over to the other side of the field. And then you can man him up, obviously, on anyone on the field as well, because he is a safety. So pretty interesting, the different things that you can do with this type of safety look. Now, you can do the same things with this safety, except this is your strong safety. Now, your strong safety is going to come down, and he's going to have different assignments. He can play a seam flat, which is going to drop him into a seam flat assignment like you see in a lot of cover 3 blitzes. You can put him into a hard flat, which is going to play hard to the flat on the right side. You can put him into a vertical hook, which is going to drop down the seam in the right side. You can put him into a curl flat, which is going to basically try to take away a corner out. Or you could put him into the man coverage assignments. And again, with the strong safety, unfortunately, once you've shown blitz, you cannot cross man him because he's no longer considered a too high safety. He's actually considered a box safety, even though he's still technically kind of far away from the line of scrimmage. So you can only man him up on the same side of the field at that point. Now, we've shown all the coverage assignments for the safeties. The corners have new coverage assignments as well. As you can see with them, we can put them in outside thirds, which would be dropping to the outside in a deep third, hard flats, cloud flats, soft squats, which are great. So we can now turn any blitz into a soft, or any defense into a soft squat, where this corner will drop vertical with the outside receiver and then try to take away anybody running from the inside out to the flat and try to jump that. And that's going to be a nice way to bait people into picks in the flats. You can also put him into outside quarters coverage, which is a deep fourth on the outside. So as you can see right here, we could go ahead and put our, if we were in a base aligned too high alignment, we could create cover 4 on one side by taking our safety here and putting him into a deep quarter on the inside, and that would create kind of a cover 4 look on this side of the field. So you can really get creative with hybrid coverages. Now, slot corners have different assignments. They can play basically anything to the flat and anything hook, but they can't drop deep. Because we have the ability to put this guy in a deep quarter, we don't have the need to take this player and also put him in a deep quarter. So if you want to make that adjustment, that has to be made with your free safety. Now you can see that this is a lot of information, so I'm going to try to break it down for you guys in our write-up with this. I'll accompany a write-up with this because this is going to be kind of a lengthy tutorial on individual coverage assignments. Slot corners can go into a seam flat like you see in a cover 3 blitz. He can go into a hard flat and take away table routes, out routes, things of that nature. He can take away the left seam with a vertical hook. He can take away a curl flat, which is basically going to go to the corner. Now, the thing with the curl flat that's important to mention is you can shade these coverages. So once you have curl flats, if you were to shade underneath, now both players go to a hard flat, and then you can shade them back up if you really want to put that player in the left slot into a cloud flat. So even though he doesn't have a cloud flat in his arsenal, you can put him in a curl flat, shade down, shade up, and now he's in a hard in a cloud flat. So it's a lot of clicks, but it's something you're going to get used to as you get comfortable in your defense. So this is going to allow you to match personnel and then change your coverages basically any way you want. Now let's go ahead and talk about outside linebackers. Now, an outside linebacker in a 2-4-5 or a 3-4, they're going to have the same assignments as a defensive end in a 4-3. So you'll be able to drop him into a hard flat, a seam flat, a curl flat, or a vertical hook. But you'll also be able to man up. And what outside these players can do is they can man up a receiver on the same side or a running back, regardless of which side they're on. So if Thomas Rawls was on the other side of the formation, we can man him up on Thomas Rawls. We cannot cross man with our outside linebackers. Now this guy is our middle linebacker number 2. We can put him, or I'm sorry, he's our middle linebacker number 1. Middle linebacker number 1 can always man up anybody on the field. So we can put him into cross man on Baldwin or Graham on the other side of the field. It doesn't really matter. You can man him up on anyone on the field without having any restrictions. You can also drop him down the middle of the field in a middle third. So this is a nice way to take away those skinny posts that players are going to throw because he's already in the box and he's going to drop into that passing lane. So middle linebackers in a middle third is a very nice adjustment that you can make to take away post routes. This player is also a middle linebacker. Now, depending on the formation, he may have different assignments than the other middle linebackers. So we'll show you in a 3-4 that sometimes you aren't able to put both players in the same assignments at middle linebacker. So you have to kind of tinker around. So you can put those middle linebackers into a hook curl, curl flat, or middle read as well. Now, remember, the middle read drops to the trip side, so he would drop all the way across the formation and down the seam. and give up the underneath on the left side. So that's what a mid-read's going to do. This is an outside linebacker over here, so he's got the same adjustments as the other one. Now you see that if we wanted to take an outside linebacker and man up Jimmy Graham, you would have to do it with the right outside linebacker on the screen, because you can only man up the same side of the field or the running back. So we can put that outside linebacker into man coverage on the running back though. So you see that he can kind of cross man, if you will, the running back. Now defensive tackles defensive linemen in general in a 2-4-5 or a 3-4 defense are going to be treated like defensive tackles in a 4-3. So any down lineman in a 3-4 or 2-4-5 is going to have the same adjustments as a defensive tackle in a 4-3. Remember that in a 4-3, the defensive ends have the same adjustments as an outside linebacker because they're considered pass rushers or edge players in a 4-3 defense. So the next thing that we are going to show here is the defensive tackle assignments. Defensive tackles have a variety of things they can do. They can man up on the running back or a tight end if the tight end is in line. So if Jimmy Graham was actually in a 3-point stance next to the right tackle, we could man him up there. They can drop into a vertical hook into the right seam. They could drop into a vertical hook in the left seam, which is going to take away those quick passes off the line down the seams if you're running something that is a little bit weak in the seams. They can drop into a hook curl to the left or a hook curl to the right. And what those are going to do is take away the short area of the field, not really in the seam, but more so drags, slants, things of that nature. So we have the ability to take either of our D tackles and drop them short left, deep left, short right, or deep right, in addition to all the old school assignments such as spy, blitz, bluff blitz, which would drop them into a 3-receiver hook. Now, a 3-receiver hook, I'll go ahead and get rid of these so you can see what a 3-receiver hook is. A 3-receiver hook is going to drop towards the 3-receiver side over the short area of the field. So it's very similar to a hook curl left in this example. However, it's not going to play as the exact same way as a hook curl to the left. So, and you also can man up the running back. So we talked about defensive tackles. So that is every position on the field. Every position has unique assignments this year, and they can change based off of where your safeties are. If you're in a 1-high defense, if you're in a 2-high defense, if you show blitz, and then all of your box defenders and corners have the same assignments that you can remember. This is a huge change from last year's Madden, where pretty much everybody had the same adjustments that they could be in. This is going to give you a lot of versatility. It's going to take a long time for you to really get comfortable in what the adjustments are in every single type of setup, because the coverage assignments will change. If you show blitz, you may have the safety that can't run into a deep half anymore. So it's something that you're going to need to get used to, but I think overall it's a great change for Madden 18. It's going to give you a lot of flexibility on defense, and I think after time, those that are savvy enough and know their coverage stuff well enough are going to develop into very good defensive players. So that's it for Zan's Corner number 1. I know this ran a little bit long, about 13 minutes, but I hope that this was a very good tutorial for you guys. If it was, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys are doing with the individual assignments to try to get stops on defense. And we will see you guys next week with the second edition of Zan's Corner for Madden 18. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab, and good luck.